Namaskar. In this lecture, we will study 9 Padarthas, or what you can call as 9 kinds of existences. A Padarth is one that exists, is called a Padarth in technical terms. There are 9 Padarthas, and they are Jeev, Ajeev, Punya, Pap, Ashra, Samvar, Nirjara, Bandh, and Moksha. Out of these, we have studied 7 in the last lecture, 7 tattvas. So in addition to 7 tattvas, we have 2 more existences here called Punya and Pap. So we will study Punya and Pap in detail here. What is Punya? These 2 terms are frequently used in Indian tradition, Punya and Pap. What is Punya and what is Pap? If you define Punya, then you see a Punya is something, which is your action or your thought that brings wellness to you as well as to others. Means, Punya is that kind of thought or activity which is good for you as well as good for the society. So this is a very general kind of definition which is given for Punya and Pap. There may be, long discussions on this aspect in different literature. For us, a simple definition will suffice. And opposite of this, the thoughts and activities which are not good for you, neither good for the society, is Pap, just opposite of Punya. Punya is the result of your auspicious thoughts and deeds, the good acts and good thoughts. While Pap is the result of inauspicious thoughts and activities. So if you do something bad in the sense that it's not good for you and not good for the society, then that kind of thing is Pap. And both of these, Punya and Pap, exist in the form of karma. So you know that your activities, either mental, verbal, or physical, attracts karman vargana and bond karma to the karman body. So whether it is a Punya or Pap, both are bound as karma. So both exist as karma. This is how the existence is justified, that they exist as karma. And the result of these karma we experience, and if it is a Punya karma, its result will be in terms of happiness and pleasure. And if it is Pap karma, then its result will be in the form of pain, misery, and unhappiness. Then, by and large, if you talk of Punya, for example, then the influx of Punya karma will take place by love and compassion to other beings. Very important thing now, that you love other beings, you have a compassionate view of other beings, you have feeling of compassion, karuna, daya, and prem. So these feelings gives rise to Punya karma. And these kinds of thoughts and activities, increase purity of your soul. Soul becomes pure, and your feelings then will be good. Besides that, there are other activities which are considered as a Punya, that is devotion and respect towards great people, Arihanta, Siddha, your Guru, and all virtuous people, you must have respect for them. That also is a Punya activity. In contrast to this, the influx of Pap karma is caused by patience of anger, ego, deceitfulness, and greed. I told you earlier also that the passions are real enemy of the soul. So these passions, incur pap karma. So whenever you are angry, for example, or you have a greedy feeling, you are deceiving somebody, or you are egoistic, you have a pride kind of feeling, be sure that you will incur pap karma. And indulging in cunningness, you are not a straightforward person. Your deeds and words do not match. So that kind of thing. And then speaking ill of others, you always try to scandalize other people and so on. So that is a pap kind of feeling and will attract a pap karma. I told you the punya purifies the soul and it's helpful in spiritual progress. That's very important. We all want to have a spiritual progress so that our soul becomes pure. We have then great many intuition power and many other advantages of purity of soul. So, but for that you must have you must do good acts, and must have good thoughts. You must do punya karma, and that kind of punya karma helps you in having right kind of faith, so that you are not misguided. You have a right faith to proceed with. And then it enables you to have a self-restraint, so that you are able to exercise control on your senses. And then it develops your inner power. As I told you that many times you have intuitional power and you get right answers to many of your thoughts, many of your pending questions. And it also enables you to follow religion. Otherwise, many people do not have faith in religion. But if you have a punya karma behind you, you automatically will develop faith in religion, and your behavior will be ethical. Practices like 5 vows. I talked about 5 vows in the very first lecture, Anuvrat. So if you follow Anuvrat or if you practice Anuvrat, you will most probably bind punya karma. Then austerities. You austere life, a very simple life. The phrase that simple living, high thinking. In that situation you will bind punya karma. Then all religious activities, you are a very religious person, you always worship, either in temple or at home, and do meditation, yoga and so on. That will lead you to auspicious thoughts. Your thoughts will become pure, what was known as a bhav punya. And your auspicious deed, it will give rise to, you will now indulge in good activities, or your acts will be good. So that is the effect of punya. And otherwise, if you have, vice versa also, if you have these kinds of activities, you will incur punya karma. Especially there are 9 kinds of punya which are defined, and you can appreciate this yourself. Giving food to hungry is a good punya deed, Giving water to thirsty, shelter to destitute, bedding and to poor, clothes to poor, garments to poor, entertaining good thoughts. You always, have a good thoughts, positive thinking. Speaking sweet words, you don't hurt anybody by your speech. And physical service, rendering service to needy people. Salutation to virtuous people, You must have respect people who are virtuous, and you must have a respectful behavior, a respectful attitude towards them, and give them proper attention and proper devotion, So that is that these are all punya activities. Giving books and educational material to students, that's also a punya deed. So you should help people, particularly poor students, provide them with books and other writing material, or help them in any other ways, giving them scholarship and so on. Then medicines to sick and protection to helpless. Means you provide health services to needy people. There are many people who build hospitals and other medical facilities they provide to needy people. It's a big punya deed, or punya act. And protection to helpless, So if you call them Jain Darshan, Jain Darshan means helping students and people who want to read. Then you got what you call as a Aushadh Darshan, you provide medicines to people who need. And Abhay Darshan, you provide protection, you give protection to people who need that kind of help. They are all punya deeds, And these things are very well embedded in our Indian tradition, But they are specifically emphasized here in Jain tradition, So you will find many Jains doing these kinds of activities, either singly or through organizations. They have many charity organizations, and they try to help people either in a normal life or in case of any natural calamity, like earthquakes or floods, droughts and so on. Then people come forward and help people. It's a good idea and a good thing to do. The fruits of Punya Karma, you can experience either in this life or in the next life, You always, you don't consider yourself to be, you don't be a person who believes only in one life, That's not the right kind of thinking. You are on a time journey. So you are going to have definitely next birth and another birth and so on till your soul is liberated. So always think in terms of lives, not one life, single life. So the Punya Karma which you are doing now may or may not give you results in this life, but you are sure to get in next life or the next life and so on. It is because of Punya Karma in our past life that you are born in a human form and enjoying life. You are enjoying so many kinds of facilities. You are studying in a good college and you are getting professional kind of education because of your Punya Karma in the past life. Remember that. So then you will get birth, you will be born in next life in a higher class of family, having a higher status. You will be born as a human being or a dev if you are doing good work. And you will have freedom from wants. In the next life, probably you will be a person, if you are doing punya here, who is free, is not worried about wants, is not worried about his expectations, or is not worried about, gathering or accumulating wealth, No, then he will have a good life. The possession of all kinds of wealth. Maybe that, you become a rich man or you become a powerful man. That is also punya. So, for example, many of the political leaders, you find that, they may not be good in this life, but they definitely did punya in the last life, so therefore are enjoying power. Then you will have a good body, a beautiful body, handsome personality, impressive personality, freedom from disease. You will have a healthy life and a healthy body, and birth that ensures spiritual progress. And maybe that you have a tendency and you have a desire to progress spiritually. If you have that kind of desire, there's nothing like it. Then we shall talk about pap. What is the pap activity? What is that activity which attracts bad karma or pap karma? This is very interesting. You will go through this list. Activity of one's interest in unethical way. You want to behave in an unethical way. You want to go against the established norms of ethics. That is pap. Or you want to go against the government rules or government regulations, or you want to violate these things, That's a pap activity. You must follow government rules, you must follow social rules, and you must follow your own personal ethical rules. Activity of no personal interest in unethical way. So you are not interested in ethical kind of activities. You always go for unethical way of doing things, Activity of slaying, killing somebody or hurting somebody or maybe damaging physically other people or even animals. It's one and the same thing. Whether you are slaying a human being or slaying an animal, that is all pap activity. So don't think that it is only limited to human beings. To any being for that matter. Slaying of life is a pap activity. Then through accidents, you do meet accident or do something which other people meet with accident, That's a pap activity. Activity of error by sight, You are not careful and do something, which you should not do. That kind of thing is a pap activity. Activity of lying, you don't speak truth, you lie. It's a pap thing. Taking what is not given is virtually means stealing. Stealing is a big pap activity. Activity by mere conceit. You deceive somebody, let's say for example. It's not good. Activity through pride. You are a prideful person, an egoistic person, and you take pride in your own activities, your own deeds, or your own thoughts. Pride can be of many kinds, So that is a pap activity. Then bad treatment to one's friends. You should treat your friends in a nice manner, in a good manner, in a respectable way, and give them all respect they deserve. Even if they are your friend, you must address them respectfully, and you must behave them in a very ethical way. So if you are doing something bad with your friends, treat them in a very bad manner, you are incurring pap activity. Activity through deceit, I told you. Activity through greed. This is very damaging thing. Greed is very damaging to a person. If you are a greedy person, you probably indulge in many bad activities, unwanted activities and so on, because you want to get something by hook and crook. So greed is a very bad habit. One must never have such a thing. Actions referring to religious life, if you follow religious life, is very good. But even if you don't do it, and you prevent somebody else doing it, or don't appreciate what others are doing, or become an obstruction in the religious activity of others and so on, this is a pap activity. The first thing is that you must yourself be a religious person. That is very important. Other pap activities are, important in modern times. holding and accumulating wealth and property. Many businessmen, many traders indulge in holding activity. They hold material and then sell them at a profit. This is pap activity. And accumulating wealth, there are people. You'll find many people are mad about wealth. They want to accumulate wealth, and they want to have property after property. All this thing is a pap activity. And what is more, protecting this. You acquired a huge amount of wealth and let us say a large amount of property, and then you protect it because you are now afraid, you are fearful that this will be lost. So for that kind of thing, you again indulge in pap activity. First you accumulate wealth and then protect. The protection also is a kind of pap activity because you will have many illegal practices to protect your wealth and protect your property. So that's another pap activity. Enmity and hatred towards others. Don't have a feeling of hatred towards others, and don't entertain enmity with others. That's a pap activity. Sensuality and sexual craze. This is probably increasing nowadays, and you must be aware of these things and be cautious not to indulge this kind of activity. Then blaming and scandalizing others, don't have that kind of habit. Don't blame others. Don't scandalize others, for your gain particularly. That's a pap activity. Then irritability and wrong belief. You get irritated, time and again, or very often you get irritated on small things, that should not irritate you. You should be able to tolerate many things, The things, don't happen as you like. You can't control others, you can't control other activities, you can't control others' activities, others' views, what they are doing and so on. So don't get irritated if this is not of your liking. You must be able to accommodate and tolerate people, and so that you are not irritated and don't get angry. Acting under patience. This is something very dangerous, If you get angry and then do something in that angry state, you will be doing a lot of pap. Or if you have greedy feelings and then you act, all your acts will be directed towards meeting your greedy expectations. That's very bad. So, and deceiving something because you want to make money or because you want to gain some power is wrong. That's something very condemnable. Then breach of vows or promise or pledge. I talked about vrat in the first lecture, Anu Vrat, and we will discuss that in detail later on. But if you take a vrat, if you make a promise, if you take a pledge and then break it, that's pap. Don't make promise which you can't hold, or don't make a pledge which you can't sustain. But once you take a pledge or once you make a promise, keep it. That is the thing which is required. There is another, punya is good in life, it gives you pleasure, happiness and so on. But sometimes excess of anything is bad, as we say. And if you have a pleasure in your life and you are feeling happy and you want to increase your pleasure, you want to increase your happiness, and for that do something, you indulge in something illegal activities or something which is unethical. That is a danger, If you are in happy state, be content with it. If you are having a pleasure, be content with that pleasure, Don't try to increase it unnecessarily. Okay? And so excess of anything is bad. Everything is bad. So don't have that kind of feeling that you want to have everything. That is not good. In the spiritual sense, both punya and pap bind karma, and therefore, punya may be helpful in a spiritual progress, but ultimately the people who are desirous of going towards liberation or going towards moksha, or they want to treat the moksha mark, for them, punya and pap both are obstacles. So such people must have an indifferent view towards things, They must only observe things and not indulge any kind of good or bad activity. There is nothing good or bad for them. The only thing is they want to have the real progress of their soul. So they become indifferent to both these kinds of punya and pap, and they have a different kind of way of living. So I have today told you about what are good activities, punya activities, what are bad activities, and what are the results of such activities. Thank you.